Hi, I'm Gary Keller, and welcome to another edition of Life, Living Your Future Every Day. And I've got with me Ashley Wilson. Hi, Ashley.
Hey Gary, thanks for having me.
Now, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Good. So you're in Raleigh, North Carolina. Tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. Yep, I'm in Raleigh. I have an expansion team, a small expansion team of one agent in Charlotte. Most of our business, really just for profit reasons, we do in Raleigh. I got into real estate in June of 2004 after teaching sixth grade for 2 years. Realized that financial freedom was not going to be possible for me with a teacher salary. So I was working multiple jobs, got my real estate license. Actually, a guy that I nannied for handed me $400 and said, "This is going to be the best $400 you've ever spent. Go get your real estate license."
Oh, wow.
I actually said, I don't want to get my license. I just want to teach. And he said, "Just do it. If you never use it, it's fine. You'll be glad you had it." So got my license and immediately started working on site kind of part time while I was teaching and loved it. And then went to new home sales, was completely naive and very driven, but was clueless about what was going on in the market as a whole.
Mm.
Um, I
And
could
this was what
sell.
year?
This was 2004 to 2008.
Okay.
So I was a glorified order taker. Let's be clear. I
Yeah.
just happened to be really good at learning the scripts and learning the sales process. So I got really good at the sales process in general. I mean, when I tell you I was completely naive about the market, I was. So I left a job with zero risk where I listed homes for 25 builders. I had a pretty sweet deal. I left in August of 2008
Mm.
to start my own real estate company. Everyone told me I was crazy, and I think being naive was actually it worked in my favor. I was driven enough that I just I created some habits that enabled me to grow pretty fast. Officially started my team in May of 2009 when I came over to Keller Williams, and the rest is kind of history.
So tell me about last year. So what did your 2019 look like, Ashley?
Um, well, it was not a banner year. You said the other day that every year doesn't have to be a banner year. Last year was
That's
not
right.
that.
That's right.
The end of 2018, I actually lost 16 people in 7 months.
Wow.
And it was due to I really hired I hired a director of sales. I was as seventh level as I had ever been. I did not hire within. I hired within Keller Williams, but not someone who had been on the team.
Mm.
And it was really just culture shock. A super talented person that I brought on. No regrets there. I learned a ton. But I think it was just culture shock and just really our style of leadership. A little more systemic leadership brought in with I'm a little more of a heart leader. And so the team pretty much blew up. So
Wow.
2019 was a rebuild year. We did about 65 million, which for us was much lower than we were around typically around 90 to 95 million the couple years before. But last year I cut a lot of expenses. We got super lean on staff. So our net was actually pretty decent. And it really opened my eyes to where my sweet spot is for the way our culture's built, like what size of team, where my role should be, and where I'm most profitable.
Speak to us
Um,
on that. I'd just be curious your 1 minute take on the sweet spot. So and getting lean and mean. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so for me, I think so that I can continue to be involved in other businesses, create some passive income for our family, not give up my life totally, which I did for 7 years, selling 100 of the houses that our team sold. I mean, I was completely out of balance. It wasn't a business.
Mm.
So I think for me, continuing to be the CEO, but also be involved in the coaching and training with my agents. And I'll go on a listing appointment here and there, which I think helps me keep in touch with the market and the agents. But our sweet spot for me to maximize our net right now, and run super lean with admin, is that 90 to 100 million. And I think, can we grow to maybe 120 million and not have to change a whole lot? Possibly. But I find with the number of agents that I need, the culture does a little bit of shifting where you almost go from that small business to more of that corporation.
That's right.
And so it is, I mean, what I've built this business on is the culture and leverage. And it is that small company culture.
Well, here's the thing, and I've learned this the hard way too, and that is go big or go small. Do not go middle.
Right. Well, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, don't go middle. Middle is like they call it the messy middle, but it is a horrible place to be as a business. You either need to fine tune being small. And by the way, small doesn't mean small income. It just simply means more a tighter business, right? Less people, tighter systems. And you're not playing around the margins of other things. You're going right at what you want to accomplish, right? The flip side of that is get big. Right. But that middle is where most people, they see their incomes go down. Jay and I talk about this a lot, but the math is no good on that. It's a horrible place to be. So you got to pass through the middle to get to big, but for heaven's sake, don't stay there.
Right. Yeah. So I'm super happy with, I can still, this year, I'll do about 50 of our listings, which is higher than ultimately where I want to be. 2017 and then 18, I was completely out of production. We were around that 94, 95 million, both of those years. And our net was higher than it had ever been. So it's just a gradual build back to that place and realizing that growing my people, I'm really focusing on growing the individuals rather than the number, like our production number. Initially, I felt like that was me being complacent. So that's been a internal battle that I've struggled with a little bit.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk about this pandemic and your business in this pandemic. Talk to us about that. What are you seeing and what are you doing?
We took massive action pretty fast. The first thing I did is cut expenses, then I cut expenses again, then I cut them again. We cut hours of a couple of employees, and we really have not brought many of those hours back. We have really looked at all areas of our business and said, how virtual can we be, from training modules to our team meetings, to our team awards, to our listing and buyer presentations. Is there some belly to belly still involved? Yes. But we really have done a complete overhaul of our business to be digitally based now.
Well, talk to us about that then. So, let's back up one question before we get to digitally based. And that is, from an opportunity standpoint, what is your business production looking like? Talk to us about what you're seeing in the market, sellers and buyers.
So, production-wise, we're up from last year, which I figured we would be just because we were down last year. We're seeing conversion is a lot higher for us. So if we can get to a buyer consultation or a listing consultation, even if it is virtual, our conversion to agency and listing taken has been much higher. So we've got much more serious folks meeting with us. We're database driven, so about 65 to 70% of our business comes from repeat and referral, and about 13% comes from realtor referral. So a lot of relationships, and we've relied heavily on events and things like that in the past. So for us to continue working our database, it's been really cool to do a lot of our events virtually. We've gotten creative with our Bold 100s and done things like we offered a Dyson hairdryer for Mother's Day. And in order to win the Dyson hairdryer, between a 2-hour period, you had to call in and be the 100th caller, and you win that Dyson hairdryer, which is life-changing, by the way. You can dry your hair in about 4 minutes.
Yes, you look good.
Yes,
my wife has one of those too, by the way.
They are great.
She says she was given as a present. by our son for I think it was Christmas. But yes, she says it was life changing.
Yeah, it definitely is. So it's been interesting to see. So I've done many bold 100s in the past when I've taken bold, and they take all day long, right? You're calling, you're really, it takes an hour and a half for 100 people to call in. You have a Google voice line, multiple team members answering, and we got 100 contacts in an hour and a half. And I'm like, why have we not, like, how much time we've been wasting is being revealed right now. Time and money that we've wasted in the past and that we won't waste moving forward because we really are shifting.
Are you finding that sellers want to sell and buyers want to buy? What are you finding in Raleigh? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, so our listings taken March to April, like as a market as a whole, it was down about 25%. But our pendings as a whole are only down about 6%.
How do you explain that?
So yes, there are definitely people that want to buy and sell. I think a lot of the numbers right now are just there's a huge group of agents, as you know, that just have paused, right? They're waiting till this is over, which gives huge opportunity for those of us who are pivoting and taking action. We're working with the serious buyers, right? We've got a couple of divorce situations. We've got, we've actually got some move up and move down buyers that are just in enough pain that they're willing to move. It's all about the motivation of the buyer or seller. And I think that's why we've seen our conversion go up, because there aren't the people who the people meeting with us aren't the ones that are just considering it. If they're
Right.
meeting with us, they're going to buy or they're going to sell.
So what's the mindset of the people that you're meeting with and your agents are meeting with? What's the mindset of people that want to do business right now?
So I really thought folks would be a lot more fearful to buy or sell than they are. We did a lot of scripting and role playing of, just objection handlers around that when this first started. What we have found is they're of the folks that we see buying and selling, their motivation's so high, it outweighs the fear. And so they're willing to act, right? So we're really just focusing on like, what are folks' motivation, bringing them back to motivation. And when they do get a little shaky about, well, maybe it's not the time, or maybe I should wait, just making sure we've got clarity on what their motivation is. So it's just a different objection, right? Because it's a different time. And I think fear is, can be paralyzing for a lot of the buyers and sellers. But again, we're practicing as a team, just getting people back to their motivation.
Yeah, I love what you said. And that is, it's just a different objection. And even though that's just a subtle statement that you made, it's really telling, because what you basically said is there's always objections.
Right.
There's always objections that we have, and these are just different.
Well, and I even said to the team the other day, I said, are we getting more serious buyers, or did we get really good at handling the objection for this specific pandemic? And I think it's the latter, right? Like, I think before we had, there were enough people coming to us that it was okay if we didn't get one. You know what I mean? And now, I mean, it's like a dog with a toy in its mouth. We're not letting it go, and we're going to help walk them through the process. But if they've raised their hand, they have a need, and so we want to help them with that.
Yeah, I get that. What's seller inventory like? Or is that as tight as ever, or is that loosening at all? Tell me about that. What are you seeing in your market?
In our market, we're at a 2.8 month supply of inventory.
Yeah,
which is scary. It's scary.
It's definitely a seller market.
It is.
But wouldn't the script then be to any seller? I mean, calling sellers and literally saying, "Hi, this is Ashley Wilson. Hoping to catch a bad time. The reason I'm calling is that we actually have less than a 3-month supply of homes for sale in the area. And we have more buyers than we have sellers. And I know that you may have thought this would be a bad time to sell, but if you ever wanted to sell your home and get the most amount of money, it possibly could be today."
Right.
To be honest with you. Right.
We
Isn't that the script? And it's not just your market. I hear that over and over.
Yeah. We pulled If you've got your database labeled right, we pulled everybody who bought between 2014 and 2019. We started with them calls, mass text, and that's the script. Inventory's low. You could have equity that you don't even know in your home. Call us, let us do a market analysis. It's the time to sell. And then if they don't, once they call, if they're not ready to sell, we do that care call script of let us introduce you to a lender, and it could be a great time to refinance right now. But then you're
Keller Mortgage, by the way, is the only lender they should use.
okay, got it.
Right. No origination fee, no closing costs. We'll give you $1,000. So it's the free option.
That's right.
There you go. But that's exactly right. I've heard a variety of care scripts around. Well, could we do this for you? Could we do that for you? Right. Mortgage is a good one. Refinancing because rates are so low right now. But that's right. I love the switch to the care script, and that is, or even on the front end, right? I mean, it could even flip that and say, "Hi, this is Ashley Wilson. I hope I didn't catch it at a bad time. The reason I'm calling is that interest rates are literally at a surprising low, and if you bought a home, if you bought your home in any time in the past, all of a sudden, most likely the rates are cheaper. And what's unique right now is that." I'm going to use my script, by the way, is that we have an affiliation with a mortgage company that charges no origination fee, no closing costs, and will pay all of your non-lender fees up to $1,000, which means you come out of pocket for nothing. So you could refinance your home right now at zero cost. Would that be something that you would consider if you could, in fact, save money?
And who's not going to say yes to that, right?
Well, that's right. Free has a way of being, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do that. So it's the perfect call. And then, and of course, they're all going to say yes. And then you say, great. Do you happen to know what your interest rate currently is? And if they go, no, I need to go check, say, that would be awesome. Do you want me to wait? Or should I call you tomorrow when you have that information? Right. I mean, right. And you literally, here we go. And then it's, oh, by the way, before I let you go, I just would be remiss if I didn't mention to you, we have it's surprising to us that in our market, the market is down, but pricing isn't, because the demand is so high. And the only reason our market is down is because we don't have enough sellers that want to sell. And it's surprising because we thought that you might be selling at a lower price, but to be honest with you, prices have held today. This might be your best opportunity if you wanted to sell your home. Oh, by the way, you don't? Awesome. Well, I'll get back to you on the interest rate, or I'll call you, or blah, blah, blah. And oh, by the way, if you know of anybody that you just casually are talking to, be sure and pass along my name. These are the scripts, right?
Yeah, it's been huge. And you know what else? We actually took our foot off the gas the first couple weeks with Keller Offers. Okay. So we were also advertising, we can get you a guaranteed offer, no hassle, no showings, no open houses, cost today. And after about 4 weeks, I said, we've run no Facebook ads on Keller Offers. What are we doing? This is a huge value add
oh my gosh.
that we have that a lot of other agents don't have right now.
That's right.
So we started that again. And as you know, 95% of the leads on that don't end up going. We've done 4, 5, 6 Keller Offers, but a lot of them turn into traditional listings.
And that's
been another, for the fearful seller.
That's right.
That's been another good hook for us lately.
Well, and that's why we did it.
Right.
we knew that. We knew the stats. We knew the stats going in on what percentage would actually get an offer they would accept, because it's going to be a lower offer than the market's going to give you, because otherwise all you're going to do is just the iBuyer is going to lose money. Right. So an instant offer is instant over more money. Right. But if you're willing to go through the market, as you well know, if you're willing to go to the market and test the market, I could possibly help you get more money if you wanted to go that route, right? And this conversation of which would you rather do? No hassles and here's the money, or have some hassles and make more money.
And those appointments have been so awesome virtually, right? Because you can have 2 net sheets up on the screen. If they choose the Keller Offer route, you haven't wasted your time going through the house. So it's been a huge aha for us. I
Have you
hate that
found?
it took a pandemic for us to shift to a little bit more digital based, but here we
You
are.
know, that's right. And the I've been preaching this for literally close to 6 years now, that we are moving towards a digitally based world. And a lot of people have said, you know what, my business is good, everything's good. I don't really feel any pressure to go digital. And until bam, something like horrible like this happens, and you go, oh, I guess we're going digital. I
Even
guess we're going.
Yeah, even on training videos. So Nick Waldner sent something out yesterday to us showing us a program he uses. And he did this really cool training video where his head's in the bottom corner. It's on Loom as the program. And
Mm,
he's walking you through the steps. And I finished watching it and I said, okay, that was great. But why in the world are we spending any time face to face training agents right now? We
right.
should have an ops manual recorded in Loom videos already, and we don't. So that's what we're working on next. So I mean, it has it's been cumbersome, right? Because we're pivoting so fast, and there's so much that we wanna flip and change. And I think in the end, it's going to be great. It's just making sure we prioritize and know we can't do it all in one day.
Here's the thing that we're seeing. The thing that we're seeing is that those agents who are busy doing their business actually are their business is not off the market, right? You know, if the market is off 30% or 40%, they're not off 30 or 40%,
Right.
right? It's the couch potato agent who has decided, oh, this is a wonderful opportunity for me to have an excuse to not have a job and go to work. Their business is off more than the market. If the
Right.
market is if the market is down 20 or 30%, actually we're seeing real estate agents whose businesses are off 100%. They're off 50%.
Right.
It's not you, by the way, because you get up every day, you love what you do, you have a passion for it, and you're going to be creative around the market of the moment. And you're basically in business to help people,
Right.
and helping people never takes a vacation, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the buy-in from the agents has been really cool too, right?
Good.
They've been role playing more than ever. They're very engaged on Zoom meetings. I feel like our culture is better than it's ever been. And I would have bet against that when this started all day long.
Well, sometimes there's a gift in going backwards, right? One of the phrases years and years ago, I used to have a whiteboard right by my desk, and one day I looked over at it, and I got my black marker and I went over there and I wrote this down. I said, "You fail your way to success. We think you succeed your way, but that's not true." And I had that written across my board for I don't know how many years, actually, until we left that building, because it reminded me that there's always a gift in going backwards,
Mhm.
right? Like you said earlier, is we're trying to have a great career. We're not always going to have a better year.
Mhm.
That's true for all of us. This year for many and most, it won't be a better year. But if you use that as the opportunity to say, oh my gosh, we had bloat. Oh my gosh, our culture was out of whack. Oh my gosh, our systems really weren't as tight as they should have been, and we weren't laser focused on what really mattered. If you see that as an opportunity, this whole thing of survive and thrive becomes very real.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm in business with you. I'm
Yeah, I feel the
grateful.
same, dear. Okay, thank you so much. Take care. Be
Thank
safe.
you. All right. Thanks, Gary.
Bye bye.